Alien contact?
No.
Zombies rise?
No.
Magnetic pole shift?
Mm-hmm.
Earth change rotation? Well, it's still on, it's like 10 a.m. or so on December 21st, 2012. So there's some time.
Still got time.
Bell Rock is considered by a lot of people to be a very spiritual place. People use the word vortex a lot out here, which I can only guess means, well, high energy and maybe portal to the other side. If there's anything significant about today, as a lot of people believe, maybe my belief and understanding that this would be a good place to check it out. There's one group that really believes in the 11:11 phenomena, which is, if you happen to notice the time, frequently when you look at the clock, it's 11 after 11 a.m. or p.m. Some people find a meaning behind that. I know a lot of people, friends and family, that have noticed that more and more recently, and apparently it's, you know, picking up steam. I've been trying to dispel it for the last couple of years, saying, hey, it's just a noteworthy time. It stands out when you look at the clock and you see a bunch of ones going across it. But all that said, that would mean I, just as anybody else, would notice it more and more. I haven't noticed it at all in the last couple of years of talking about this. So anyway, there's a group that holds a lot of stock in that, and they believe that seeing that 11:11 is a calling to come here to Bell Rock on today, December 21st, 2012. And there will be kind of a portal to the center of the galaxy that will open here today. Now, I'm not here to make fun of anybody. That's not at all the intent. I don't believe that. I'd love to talk to some of these guys if I find them here at all today. We're gonna, just climb this thing, walk around, enjoy the city itself altogether, beyond just here, and we'll see if anything happens on December 21st, 2012. In this edition of What's Your Ghost Story Road Trip, we head out to Sedona to get front row tickets to the end of the world. Yes, that crazy Mayan calendar. The sheer number of ways we could have died was unbelievable. From colliding with a rogue planet called Nibiru, to massive solar flares and other extinction-level events, there's no shortage of ways we were all going to die. This image behind me was a favorite joke making the rounds among the internet, originally created by KPTV out of Portland. I love it because it gives me a chance to look like a meteorologist for a couple of seconds. So if you want to hear about all that other kind of stuff, you can turn on Decoded, Ancient Aliens, or any number of 1,000 different cable specials. I wanted to see how people were going to cope with this date in the mystical, magical town of Sedona, Arizona. And if this is a place of high energy, ideally it would pick up on these, regardless of the day of the year. And with that, we continued our ascent up Bell Rock, keeping one eye on our EMF detectors, looking for possible evidence of a vortex, or even someone who could explain to me what a vortex is, and the other scanning the horizon for a wormhole or a time traveler in a blue police box. In Sedona, it feels like these are possibilities on normal days, let alone December 21st.
I haven't had any EMF spikes yet, which is a little disappointing. I do believe in the paranormal on the other side, that there's more to this universe than we currently know about. So I really do want to believe that this rock formation has some power. Regardless, I've been talking for a year that this is where I wanted to be on this day. So that's pretty cool. I get to share these.
Scott just went up on his own, up the hill a little bit further, and I'm going to do a little bit of an EVP session to see if I can reach anything. Essentially we're looking at being in a vortex area, whether or not there are spirits here or even other interdimensional beings. So I am going to try to see if I can find one. They say that today is a very special day. There will be a bunch of different energies in the world. Just wondering if maybe I could get a sign of somebody here.
So now I'm going to do what might be the first ever EVP session with a GoPro camera. This is a different kind of extreme than the camera was designed for. This is what John Keel would refer to as a doorway. Between worlds, between dimensions. And apparently, there have been a lot of UFO sightings over this formation as well, from what I've heard. So, what's interesting is if you were to do an EVP session here, usually you're at a house or a museum or a historic place where you know the history behind it, and at the very least, you know that you're talking with a deceased human being, or the energy of a deceased human being, however you want to refer to that. But this, for all intents and purposes, and if you're going to go along with the concept, you could be talking to anything, anyone, anything you've heard from legend and lore, from aliens to fairies, and on and on. I know, quite out there, but when in Rome. So if there's anyone here at all, my name is Scott, and I would love to hear from you. I'd love to talk to you. If you can make your presence known to me in any way, safely, because I'm not a fan of heights, please do so now.
Now, we didn't really intend to go out and do an investigation, but we had the equipment on us, and at this place and this day, we just couldn't resist.
Could you be another person meditating? Can I pick up on somebody else's energy that's living today?
There have been talks of people committing suicide from this site today as well, so it's been a little bit scary. I know that the park rangers are all staked out with binoculars watching every move. It's a bizarre time, and years from now people will look back at this video. Well, I mean, as you're watching this, you're probably laughing a little bit, mostly at me, I'm sure, but years from now people will look back and wonder what the hysteria was over this whole 2012 Mayan calendar phenomena. Even people that don't believe it's going to be a catastrophic, apocalyptic moment, many people still believe that this will be a shift in times for us. At the very least, I think a lot of people just want to believe that what we've been going through as a society at least the last decade, if not more, is behind us, and that we can turn over a new leaf and start fresh, the way we always hope for on New Year's Eve. This would be on a big, grander scale. It's not just a personal change, it's a whole paradigm shift for society. And I don't blame them for hoping that, for thinking that.
Scott's up there somewhere. There he is.
This is called facing your fears time. Not the most comfortable right now. There's Connor down there. See a tiny yellow spot.
After safely retreating back down Belt Rock, we grabbed lunch at the very funky Red Planet Diner and hit the road for the wickedest town in the West, Jerome, Arizona. Jerome was a town built around copper mining in the late 1800s. The town was decimated by fire numerous times. Still, most of the standing buildings date back to the early 1900s. A number of the buildings in Jerome had the word "Ho" written on it in Christmas lights, clearly meant to be read as one in a series. However, it's impossible to ignore the fact that several buildings up here did serve as brothels. Though it seems that at least half of these buildings claim one type of haunting or another, nothing is as famously haunted as the Jerome Grand Hotel. The hotel started off as a hospital, but only operated for about 30 years before one of the copper booms went bust. The building's haunted reputation started when it was still a hospital, meaning the hauntings at this location have been going on for roughly 85 years so far. Arriving back in Sedona around 11:11 p.m., we were amazed to see the congregation of people at Bell Rock, or really, the lack thereof. What have we learned today? That Sedona gets really cold.
Sedona gets really cold.
Sedona is an awesome place, a beautiful place, and it has a winter season. Jerome is awesome.
Very haunted.
The Jerome Hotel, we checked out the Asylum, which is the restaurant in there. I keep looking because I want to see something over Bell Mountain, Bell Rock.
I have to pee so bad, I'm sorry.
Okay,
My legs
so
are
that'll go
crossing
in.
themselves.
So that's why you're not in these. What happened on December 21st? Nothing. Or at least nothing we're aware of so far. Maybe a shift has subtly begun, and one day we'll be able to look back and say, you know when that started? December 21st. But before we close the door on this episode entirely, what about our EVP sessions? At best, they were inconclusive. Both Connor and I did receive strange sounds during our sessions that you can hear here.
The history behind it.
of somebody here.
These clearly aren't voices, and because we were outside, there were far too many possibilities for extraneous noises to consider these sounds paranormal. However, I do find it strange that I ended up recording more of these sounds at a higher altitude where there were fewer people. Until then, we're back on the road and want to know, what's your ghost story?